Good morning. I'm Stephanie from the Denman Homestead, and today I'm multitasking. It's not just today, it's every day I multitask, but today I'm doing lots of stuff. I am roasting a chicken. Buddy and I are about to go on a vacation, and one of the things that I like to meal prep for when we take the RV out on the road is either tuna salad or chicken salad, something quick. I can whip up some sandwiches while we're driving or whatnot. So I have a whole chicken in my sink that I have rinsed off and cleaned. I've got some fresh thyme from my herb garden. I've got a lemon, and I've got some celery sticks, some salt and pepper, and I'm softening some butter. Actually, it's fully softened now. A little bit of a trick that you may or may not know, but you could fill a mug with some boiling water or hot water and just stick your butter underneath the cup, and the radiant heat will soften your butter in no time flat. This is completely soft. So that's what I have right now, and that's all I'm going to use. It's super basic. I know some people rub it with different things, but because I'm using this for chicken salad, I just kind of want a basic roasted chicken. I've got my glass casserole dish here. My oven is set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And this bird is about 4.5 pounds. So I'm gonna roast it for about an hour and a half in the oven and uncovered. And then I'm going to check it. I'm gonna check the internal temperature, and we wanna make sure that the meat reaches 165 degrees. If it's below that, then you are risking salmonella and other foodborne illnesses, undercooked meat, things like that. So just keep that in mind, that you want your internal temp to be 165 for poultry. That's what I'm going to be doing right now. While this is in the oven, though, I've got a boatload of tomatoes that I harvested yesterday that I'm going to be rinsing and putting into gallon Ziploc bags and throwing into the freezer. Whole tomatoes. I'm not going to cook them. I'm just going to make sure that they're clean, and then I'm going to put them in the freezer. When I get ready to cook them into either whole tomatoes or sauces, I will just let them thaw and cook, and the skins will break apart and peel easily whenever I get them on here, or whenever I put them on the stove and get them boiling. But just to let you know that if you do plan on freezing your whole tomatoes, that they won't be good fresh. It's not going to be like a good fresh tomato when you thaw it out. It's going to be pretty mushy. So you're going to either need to make a sauce or some sort of canned tomato out of them. But because I have so many and I've got so little time, I feel like that's the best way to preserve them. I've also given a lot away, brought some to the gym in a big basket. So nothing is going to waste. This is going to be the best scenario and situation for me to save all these tomatoes. All right, well, let's get to the chicken. So I bought this whole chicken. It's an organic, cold processed chicken at the store. And let me just get my knife here. Got a knife. And I'm just going to chop up some celery, cut off the ends. And I'm going to stuff the bird with this celery and the thyme. Set that aside for my chickens. Okay, I've got some chopped up celery sticks here. I'm just using 3 celery sticks. You kind of can just gauge your bird on how much you need. Again, I just grabbed a handful of fresh thyme from my plant, and then I'm just going to either try to squeeze one whole lemon in there. I'm going to cut it in half, or just see what I can fit in this bird. Because getting a lot of stuff in this little bird might be kind of difficult. Okay, so here's my bird. Make sure when you buy whole birds like this that you open up the inside cavity, because when they process it, they'll leave some gizzards in a baggie for you if you want to cook with them. Some people like to cook livers and hearts and necks and all that kind of stuff. The neck is in here too. It makes a really good stock. Okay, so I'm going to rinse this out really good. Since it had that little baggie inside. Whole birds might have some pin feathers left on them from processing. You can just pick those right off. You want to see how I cook this chicken? Okay. I will teach you. Okay. All right. I'm going to set my celery to the side in my dish really quick so I can put this bird here. No, this is not one of our chickens, baby. I'm going to pat this chicken dry on the outside because I want the butter and salt and pepper to stick well to the skin. All right. Now I'm going to take my butter. Open it up. I'm going to save some of this because I'm going to put some butter down on the pan. And some butter I'm going to slather the chicken. You get my celery, and I'm going to open up the cavity, the same part where we took the bag out of all the gizzards, and just shove the celery down in there. I'm going to take my lemon, I'm just going to squeeze it inside a little bit to release some of the juices, and I'm going to stick the whole lemon inside the bird. Oh my gosh. You all right? You don't like the sound? I do not. I'm going to try to get this other one in there too. Okay. Looks like it's going to work. Okay. So let's see. Some of my thyme I need to get in there. You'd be surprised how well this chicken stretches out. No, it doesn't go in the arm. I think I can get all of this in there. Exactly what it looks like if you get a big arm of a chicken. Yeah. Oh, like, oh, okay, that's pretty no chicken. Mm-hmm. Is that skin? Mm-hmm, this is the skin. So what I'm doing now is I'm just running my finger underneath the skin. So between the skin and the chicken breast, I'm kind of gently pulling it apart. I don't really want it to rip. It might rip. It ripped a little bit right there. But I want to be able to get some of this butter between the layer of the breast and the skin. That's going to help it be really juicy. You just kind of have to work it so you don't tear it too bad. Because if you can keep it kind of intact, then you can really lock in a lot of that fat from the butter and everything. All right. I don't know if you can tell, but my hand is underneath the skin. Okay, there's this pocket here between the breast and the skin. And we're going to put butter. You can put herbs in there too if you'd like. We're just going to do butter here and some salt and pepper on the outside. So I just grab some of my softened butter and I'm going to start slathering. It's like lotion for the bird. So when you're handling raw chicken, you have to be very careful with, you don't touch your mouth, you don't touch your face. You clean everything that the chicken touches. Will it burn or something? No, it'll make you really sick. Yeah. sticking some of this underneath the skin, moving it all around. Okay, now the chicken is coated completely with butter. Now that my hands are buttery, I'm just going to take some of this butter in my hands and put it in the bottom of this pan here. All right, I've rinsed my hands off, and now I'm going to get my salt and pepper grinder, and I'm just going to salt and pepper the exterior of the bird.
Oh, it smells so good. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm just trying to see it.
And guess what? We lost audio, but I'm saying here that we've got the bird stuffed, and I'm about to put it on the pan and the oven at 350 degrees. This bird is about 4.5 pounds, so we're going to cook it for about an hour and a half, or check it around an hour and 15 minutes and see what the internal temperature is. Chicken is in the oven. Next up, me and Alora are going to be storing some tomatoes. Lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. I don't know if you can see these tomatoes, but they're full in my sink and full on my table. So while we wait, we will work. Alora, will you do me a favor? Mm-hmm. Grab that Ziploc baggie and open it for me, and I will throw these in there. I'm just going to pull these little green tops off and make sure that they're rinsed off pretty good. Oh, and look at this, guys.
Oh, yeah, we've grown our first corn.
I went out and just picked one just to see because the silks had started to turn black. Look, doesn't that look good?
We got our first corn.
So I'll be doing some corn harvesting soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got
Nothing like homegrown sweet corn. Okay, Alora and I went ahead and did
all of it. So we had to pause it because we would waste the time just trying to do it in front of y'all instead of just pausing it and doing all of it. So we did all of it and paused it, and we got some peppers.
right. So over here we still have plenty that are kind of still trying to ripen, and we got some spaghetti squash, cantaloupe, we've got cucumbers in there, but we took a whole bunch out to the freestand. Alora, you want to go show them what we put in the freestand? Okay, here's the freestand. And it's loaded down.
So we got tomatoes here, and some peppers and tomatoes, and just tomatoes and tomatoes, and then
some peppers under there.
Some zucchini.
Some cantaloupes.
Yeah, some cantaloupes.
That's it.
Where's the rest of the peppers?
We saved some peppers inside for Pawpaw and Lulu because they wanted some peppers, so we're going to save some.
And Debbie.
Yes, we did tell Debbie that there was some stuff out here. So we're just going to let the other tomatoes ripen on the table. That they should be fine for the next couple days while we're gone. And we are going to put all those other tomatoes that are in baggies in the freezer. All right, this bird is out. And it's golden brown. Looks really good. Got the thermometer in here. We're looking like we got a really good temperature. It's close to 175 actually, so pretty safe. And I'm just going to let this cool for a little bit before I start handling it because I do not want to burn my hands. So we're just going to let this sit and chill out. And then if I have time, I can take whatever is left of the bones and make a good chicken broth with everything that's left over. Well, my stinking mic died again, but we're going to narrate. So I shredded all of the chicken here, as you can see in this bowl. And now I'm just going to add in my ingredients for my chicken salad. And I'm explaining that there's just so many different things you can do to chicken salad, but I love doing it this way. I add in chopped up apple pieces, and I'm just kind of dumping in some chopped walnuts, however much you want. And then I'm also just going to add in a little bit of brown sugar. I'm guesstimating it's probably around like 1/8 of a cup, and just sprinkling it in. It's really not going to be that sweet. I know with the apples and the brown sugar, you might think that it's going to be too sweet, but it's really not, because the mayonnaise and everything the tanginess from the mayonnaise really mellows it out, and it just gives it just like a slight sweetness, and I really think that it works well. So I'm just mixing it up here, and then I'm going to be adding in my mayonnaise. Okay, so the mayonnaise that I'm using here is homemade mayonnaise. And if you've never made mayonnaise before at home, it is so simple and easy. I actually have a YouTube short on how I do it. But the recipe is 1 cup of avocado oil, 1 raw egg, about a tablespoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of mustard, and a little bit of salt. And you just blend it all together, and that makes mayonnaise. So that's my mayonnaise jar that I have, and I'm mixing that all in, and you really cannot beat homemade mayonnaise. Laura brought us some sandwich bread so we could both have like half a sandwich, and it is so good. I ended up putting some in, the majority of it in a to-go container for our trip, but then I also had this for dinner as well tonight because I couldn't stop eating it. But here I'm just making my sandwich, and then one for Laura too. Right here we're just discussing if she likes it or not, and it's definitely a win for her. She really likes it. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me on this one. So sorry about the audio at the end, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.